how I finished most of my yearly resolutions in the first week. And here's how you can do it too. So I started yearly resolutions about almost a decade now actually, and I learned a lot since then. I learned that it all comes down to these 3 principles. I promise that after this video, you will be able to not only achieve your resolutions, but to achieve it in a shorter amount of time, basically the shortest amount possible. Now, I'm not going to tell you to make bad goals. No, but I'm going to make you have better strategies to actually make those goals happen or come to reality. The way that I'm going to do it, I'm going to give you the story, I'm going to give you the lesson, then I'm going to add some secrets of mine as a cherry on top. Cool. Now you have to comprehend one thing, is that when it comes to time with yearly resolutions, we're only talking about one thing, which is Parkinson's law, which will all make sense in a second. Parkinson's law is a law that says you have to make a goal, whether that be in 1 year or whatever. You shrink it down into some unrealistic amount of time. As an example, 2 weeks. You make that 2 weeks, you make what you want in that year in 2 weeks. That's actually what got me to finish my yearly resolutions about 1 month before the year has even begun. And you're going to say, what? How is that even possible? Because simply once you're going to do that year after year, that was going to happen. Because the year for me, the first year, I ended up at September. So September, I was done. October, I already got into the next year's goals, right? So the thing is, it's not only you're going to become ahead of yourself, ahead of your goals, ahead of other people, but also you're gonna do that while literally doing other stuff. So you're gonna buy back your time, and also you will have so you say, all right, so what I'm gonna do then in the year then? You're gonna focus on more important things. You're gonna focus on better, bigger things that you have to focus on. Whether that be do, think, write, whatever. It's whatever it is that you do. Now, cool. Now, what is the Parkinson's law? Because it's kind of just passed on it. Parkinson's law, as described in 4 Hour Week, one of the biggest and best entrepreneurial books of all time. He says the Parkinson's law is basically you have to make something, you have to make a goal and put it in an unrealistic amount of time. Basically, just squeeze it. All right. So you make 1 year goal. So you have this week, this goal for 1 year. I'm going to get it. I'm going to squeeze it. I'm going to put it in 2 weeks. For me, the reason why I do 2 weeks is better. So my business mentor and also my older brother, I met with him about 10 months ago. We were on a table in a coffee shop and he says, you're making goals the wrong way. I said, what do you mean? It's I've been making goals for almost a decade now. He said, no. He said, when you make goals, you don't make long periods of time, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 9 months time. It's really hard to expect what's going to happen in that time. What you want is to make it 2 years, make it 2 weeks, because basically life is unlikely to change so huge and drastically in the span of 2 weeks, right? And if you can expect what's gonna happen in the next 2 weeks, so that hires the high perceived likelihood, not perceived, but the likelihood of achievement of the goal. And at the same time, if we're gonna do 3, 4, 6 months, a year, it's there's no way, it's unlikely that you can predict everything that's going to happen. So it makes it unlikely that you will actually achieve your goal in comparison to make it in 2 weeks. Now the Parkinson law here takes place, and he says you have to always squeeze it. Even Elon Musk speaks about it. He says you have to make 10 years goals in 6 months. And there's more to that. There's also when he was in Twitter, he was always pushing the deadlines. There's stuff that took them 6 months. He said, look, it's going to take 2 weeks. Finish it in 2 weeks. Absurd. So these things usually takes place again and again and again and again in all the entrepreneurs that you love, all the companies that you love. Basically practice that. Whether it's a company, whether it's a business, whether it's a service, whether it's organization, whether it's a corporation, whatever it is, or whether it's just individuals, like the individuals that you love are most likely, like most of them are using the Parkinson's law. Because Parkinson's law not only will push you, but also will push you, like you can push yourself in 2 weeks. And you don't, like, what's burnout in 2 weeks? You're probably not going to get burnout, you know? But if you're going to push yourself on 1 year, yeah, probably you're going to welcome burnout. But you're going to do 2 weeks, well, in 2 weeks you're done. You got it, dude. It's like, what? You know what I mean? Actually, just a few weeks ago, I had this goal to hit this amount of subscribers on my Arabic account. And I said, all right, cool. It's like, that's crazy goal, all right? But the thing is, it's like I knew how to do it. I had a good strategy, and I did that. 2 weeks, that's all. I really didn't hit the goal then, but I got 50%. If I didn't try, I wouldn't get. I would get like 1%. So there is a difference. All right? And now, with Parkinson's law, it's not only that you will have the chance to actually achieve the entire goal, but also it will be better than all other people that think that they can't achieve that goal in that time. It only like has to take them a very long period of time. So the perspective that you have is just dangerous and like puts you in a different perspective. Even Sun Tzu, the art of war, he talks about it. He said, "Look, the war is won before it even begins. You wanna win that war. This is not a war; it's just a goal. So think about it this way: you have to win, and you have to win big, and you have to win right." Now, I think one of the most important things also when it comes to this subject is also habits. Now, I've read all of the biggest habits books, right? Self-help habits books, and I was talking about this colleague from college just a few days ago. Actually, we were talking about these books. I said, well, really, like right now, I don't think they're useful at all. Like, yeah, I read them about a few years back in the day. Now, it's like I don't think they're useless. He said something good. He said, look, you're just now in a different state. Because he loved those. He was like, dude, please, I want to borrow your book, stuff like that. I was like, sure, but like he said, look, you're just in a different stage. I said, you're completely correct. It's like different stages gives you like different perspective. And really, there's an advice that a billionaire gave to his assistant. She asked him, she said, like, what's the advice that you can give me? He said, look, he said, do you have to take advices from people? It's like never taking advice from people that are way ahead of you. Taking advices from people that are just 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of you. Because the people that are just way ahead of you, they have no clue about where you are. So now they are attached from the situation that you're in to give you actually a very good advice that you can use. But on the other hand, the people that are 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of you, they know where you're at. So basically they give you a suitable advice. They give you an advice that you can literally practice. It's really like one of those quotes that I love. I even like had about 2 months ago, I sat with this content creator. He's way bigger than me in all of the platforms, but not crazy bigger than me. All right, we were like, there was a group. Some of them were insane. We're doing like 20 times more than me, stuff like that, probably more. Like we're talking millions of followers just on Instagram. So this guy was not that, all right. But he's still like he was like a few steps ahead of me, you know what I mean? I was sitting with him. I said, look, what do you think like do I have to do? It's like I really want to make it. I really want to make this work. I want success at this. It's like, what do you think I should do, or what do you think is like the secret? And he was giving me all of the secrets, and it felt so relatable. It felt as if something that I can do. On the other hand, when I take advices from people that are just detached from me, they might give me just some bullshit that, yes, it's true, but also like in my stage, probably it's not as helpful at all. This is the same thing with my colleague. For me, the books were useless, but for him, because he is in that stage, they are just so important. Of course, when I was at that stage, I thought that those books are important. It just now I don't. So now that principle, when you think about it, all right, cool. Now you have to comprehend that also, like with years is stages, month there is stages. So what you want to be, the mindset that you want to have, especially at the beginning of the year, the end of the year, etc. You want to know that I don't know what's the stages that are coming. I know the stage that I am in, so I want to squeeze this stage, get most of that out of this stage. There's an attitude that Charlie Arnold, who's the owner of Dior, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, etc. It's like you see all of those, it's his. He was actually the richest man in the planet a few months ago. He met with Elon Musk and stuff like that. He's not right now the richest man in the planet, but he's up there, you know. We're talking about $200 billion evaluation. It's pretty much up there. They speak about him because he's pretty secretive, and they speak about him. He said he has this policy in all of his companies. It's a quote which says the worst is yet to come, which gives them, and he speaks about it in a conference. He says, look, this is a quote that gives positive paranoid. When people are paranoiding but positively, it makes them actually to take action. If I'm going to say the worst is yet to come, this makes that now I have to do and have to go all in. So like when that worst is coming, I'm ready, or I'm done what I have to do, whatever it is. It just puts the people in a different perspective. I even used that for a couple of months, being honest. Until like one day I went to a therapist. Being honest, like that, since that day, I stopped doing that. I limited me saying that to myself. But the thing is, you have to comprehend that not necessarily the worst is yet to come, and not in a pessimistic way. But the thing is, you have no clue about what's gonna come, and you want to make it right. You want to make those resolutions happen. You probably tried, like I tried alone myself. I tried like not hitting my yearly resolutions, and it sucked. It sucked so much. I hated it so much that I decided I will never try that feeling again. I'm gonna make every resolution that I make. It's not because I'm gonna make the resolutions easy, but I'm just gonna go harder. Now the thing that you want to be here is like you want to push yourself in the moment, in that area that you want to know. So like you have a good idea about what's happening in the next 2 weeks. You have a good expectations. There is, you know, like even if things like happen, it's like you have a good idea. Like you can expect what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. So basically just make like what you've made in a year, make it in one week. Go all in. Obviously, if there is something that risks your life or your health, or there's something that irreversible, sure, obviously take it 1 year. But because I was thinking about the gym as like someone's gonna go train like 10 times a day, probably not, it's not gonna work. But also there is the Parkinson's law in that too. I understand. It's just that you probably like, you figure it out, you're smart, whatever. So now what you want to do is basically the next 2 weeks, go all in. Go all in, dude. Because look, the next 2 weeks you're already ahead. You're like, dude, I just finished like 20%, 30%, 60%, whatever. Let's say like 10%. Let's say let's say 6%, 8%, right? All right. We're gonna say I finished like 8%. Oh, come on, let's just say 10%. You can measure that. All right, cool, 10%. So 10%, what will give you in your brain is not what you think it is. It's not only that you've done 10%, it's like you're closer 10% of the road, but more than that, it gives you progress. They did this theory, they did this experiment. I'm pretty sure Oxford did it. They did the same amount of chocolate or whatever, the same amount, but on the same amount of tasks. Okay, so this is one of them. The concept is the same. So let's say you have to eat 8 chocolates. One, it has 8 bars, 8 chocolates. That's it. Just like that's how it's produced. The other one has 10 places but 8 chocolates. The first 2 are done. So that they said that there is 80% more chance like that they will finish all of the chocolates if they had that two bars progress. It's 20% progress. to like, it's not like we're talking about if 10 is it's 100%. You understand? It's like that progress, even if it's fake, it gives you a lot of push and it gives you a lot of commitment. And this is used in sales too. It's like salespeople, when you meet salesperson, it's like, give me your hand. It's like you're given a commitment. Or they say, well, just give me your credit card and think about it. Whatever it is, it's like they you want to give them you want to like get something. So some people are committed to you, so they feel like they've already done the first step. They already have done that progress, which makes the likelihood that they will actually finish is actually higher. So now when you use this principle and you're like, all right, cool, I'm going to use it with my mind, I'm going to use it with my brain. I don't want to start at 0, I want to start at 10%, 20%. So the first 2 weeks, go all in, get that 20% and start off the year. Start your year in February, dude. But make sure you have 20-30% off your back. And the way you do it, you're going to make unrealistic goal. And look, even if you don't achieve it, you will have the chance to achieve it. And 2, you will beat everyone like your peers who have the idea that it can only be achieved in a very long period of time. And make it in 2 weeks, because you can expect what's going to happen in 2 weeks. Like, you don't know what's going to happen in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, 10 months. All right, cool. So you're going to do that and go all in. And the thing is, like, you're gonna literally start off the year with progress. And if you're gonna just like pass those few weeks of the year, you're already like better than most people. Like I'm pretty sure like at least 60% of the people on the planet, they make yearly resolutions 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they already drop down. They already churn. Churn is quitting, or if there's a subscription service, people quit, stuff like that. It's like they literally just quit. 3 weeks in. It's like, well, how can you quit 3 weeks in? Of course not. So what you want to do is like make progress, so you make it impossible for yourself. Like, you've already done 10-20%. It's like, how can you leave, bro? You've done 10-20% and it's only 2 weeks. Probably it's not going to take you that much. Probably like 3 months. You're going to already done with the entire year. It's a good perspective. It's like, whether you want to talk to people, whether you want to be on your own, it's just a good perspective. It's like always gives you the power. It's not takes power from you. And this is why Andrew Tate says double work, double training, double winning every New Year's Eve. And look, it makes all the sense. Like, double work, double training, double winning. Double work means he works double at that. Everybody is comfortable. Everybody is eating chocolate. Everybody's doing this. He's double work. He's doing double of the work. Right? Obviously, in that area, it's like in the times, like most people are more excited and are willing to pay for subscriptions and product and businesses. Obviously, there's a lot of people that can use that. So I'm not going to speak about that. That's like more of a business side. Of course, you can get use of that. More of talking about like you think. It's like whatever it is. So it doesn't matter if you have a business, you are in college, you're a content creator. It doesn't matter. So basically, like, you want to double work, because like you will finish your year strong. More than that, you will start the other year stronger, which gives you the advantage. And as I said, you already have progress in your pocket. Nobody's gonna fucking take you down. Now, he also says double training. He that's like, I'm pretty sure like his slogan and stuff, which is also cool. Like, you can do that too. And double winning, which is like you win, because I'm gonna here explain it as there is double chance of you winning, but I'm pretty sure it's not like what he meant. He just like said it because it looks good or sounds cool. But the thing is like, you want to be in that situation, because really, like, if you just go with the first, like, if you survive the first 2 months, you're gonna be ahead of almost an absurd amount of people, like 80% or something. People just make yearly resolutions. They don't even care about them. They're like, oh yeah, I just made yearly resolutions, and they speak about it all in Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, LinkedIn, everything. 1 month later, they don't do it. So you don't have to actually upload it. Obviously, if you want to, do it. I don't here force you to do anything. If you're brave enough, do it, bro. If it's bravery thing for you, it's like, I'm brave. I don't give a fuck about people. I'm gonna put it and I'm gonna actually make it. Go for it. But if it's just for accountability bullshit, nah, dude. It's like it's like do this method, you'll be accountable more than just uploading it to people and people will be nosy about it, and also you will get the wrong attention. It's like if you want to say like whatever, even if you made a wrong goal, sometimes you get wrong attention. I've tried that like when I was young. I was always being like, I'm gonna get to 100,000 this year. I'm gonna become the best YouTuber in my country. I'm gonna become this. I'm gonna become that. I just get the wrong attention. It's like, shut the fuck up. And it never did that. But the thing is, like, you don't want to do that. Obviously, like the goals when you make them, so you don't be like me, like a dumbass. Don't be like a dumbass and actually make goals that are about consistency. So don't be like me. The goals that I just said is like, I'm gonna become the best. It's like, who the fuck is the best? Like, what is the best? Explain to me, like, in plain words, what is the best? Well, whatever. There's a lot of metrics that to be the best. I think I'm the best. Is that enough? 1st of January, got it, done. Resolutions. There is no resolutions. There is 355 days more to go. Already done in one day, dude. It's like, no. You want to make it consistency based. It's like, I'm a salesperson, I'm going to make 100 sales calls a day, a week, whatever. It's like something. And, calculate it for how much a month, how much 6 months, how much 3 months, how much a quarter, how much a year. So, like, you understand, it's like, I'm going to make this year, I'm going to make, let's say, 20,000 sales calls. It depends on you. I'm just giving you some random numbers here. But, like, make quantity, because quantity, one, it's easily measurable, easily controllable. Like, you can control how many calls you make or whatever it is. It's like how much you revise, how many notes you take, how many whatever. All right, cool. It's also something that can be studied. So like at the end of the year, you go back and you're like, all right, I did this 1,000 times. All right, which ones gave me the best return on investment? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, there's about 10%. Cool, okay. Can I do that again? Oh, yes, I can. All of them, it seems like I did just this one thing. Or I'm going to just do one thing all over again and again and again for the next year. Then like kind of sort of like repeat the cycle. So look, as I promised, now you have the ability to actually like finish your goals in a 1 week. Like the only way to finish your goal in a 1 week is the way that I'm here describing. Using the Parkinson's law, using the principles, you will be able to do it. You might even finish it before the beginning of the year. But that's also like up to you. But the thing is, like, obviously you can't achieve the yearly resolutions. Now the time you choose it. The less, the better, because then you just really buy back your time, so you can invest it in stuff that are more important, bigger, and better. And that's really what it is. And look, what you've seen here, you can never unseen. And also, you don't need anything external to actually do everything that I promised. Just as I said, you might as well subscribe.